Yeah, so you've got a few use cases that the consulting firms are now starting to really leverage independent talent at scale. So the first one is relatively obvious, which is around project execution. So if you let's take the strategy consulting firms to demonstrate this. If you're a large strategy consulting firm, increasingly getting involved in longer tail delivery. So I think one of the shifts has been that clients are increasingly more demanding of their consulting firm partners to actually move beyond strategy. So not just stopping at the thinking, but actually then taking ownership for delivery. And I think that change in expectation from clients to say, look, I'm not only going to just buy, the deck and the thinking and the strategy piece. I want you to be on the hook and make this real and actually deliver it. I think that fundamentally changed the needs of consulting firms on the strategy side, and how do we actually build that capability up? It's not our core competence, but how do we deliver on that long tail execution when we are really good at the strategy piece? The sort of skills you need to do execution are very different. So we're seeing increasing takes up for just pure project execution to fill capability gaps required for that deep execution expertise. So bringing in practitioners. So initially it was all about bringing in practitioners with industry experience that could come in, and then you could have a hybrid team with sort of your consulting skill sets and your practical execution skills and bring those together, all project managed and governed by the consulting firm. So that's your main use case, filling those capability gaps. Increasingly what we're seeing is that consulting firms are trying to move away from running large in-house benches. So the cost and the pressure on cost base now for those organizations, for them to run these large benches with a relatively tough market environment, is forcing them to look a bit more prudently around how they actually bring in capability. Do they have that bench talent sitting there waiting, but also costing them money? Or do they try and bring in talent from elsewhere when those opportunities arise? And so we're also seeing pressures on in-house benches, increasing demands from clients in terms of what they're expecting consulting firms to do, to change how consulting firms are building their teams of project execution. We're also seeing the use of independence even before that to win engagements. So when consulting firms are pitching for projects, often the challenge they're getting now from clients is, well, do you have the right capability within the organization to deliver this particular work? Right? Do you have it in the locations and the skills, with the experience and expertise we need? So increasingly, to increase the scope of services they can offer and to win a broader range of engagements with a broader range of clients, they're able to quickly supplement their internal capabilities, leveraging independence, but still providing the overlay and the quality assurance that the consulting firm brings. So winning projects by bringing in diverse expertise beyond what's available in-house, executing projects, especially going into areas where maybe they're not traditionally strong in terms of long-tail execution. And then we're starting to see consulting firms use independent talent for building out new practices or building out into new markets. So, a consulting firm might want to enter a new geography or might want to enter a new sector and build out a new practice. To do that with lots of permanent hires is a high-risk strategy in terms of the cost that it brings, in terms of the time that it takes. And you don't know whether you're going to build up that demand pipeline to justify the cost. So we're actually also seeing consulting firms leverage it from a expansion point of view. We're bringing an agile way to do it, but also reduce their risk and costs associated with it. And then the final one that would be good to mention is around client-side capability building. So consulting firms obviously are looking to, win engagements, execute really well, build capability within the client, exit, and then move on to the next project. But often project outcomes are not only impacted by the consulting firm's ability to deliver, but also the client's ability to stand up the right capabilities on their side, both during the project, but also to then take over that outcome in business as usual. So we're increasingly seeing that clients are actually looking at their consulting firm partners and say, hey, you've also got to help me take this on post you leaving the building. How am I going to build capabilities on my side? So consulting firms there are also helping their clients look at independent talent to face off to them in a project environment.